Welcome to the Cafe Nut Show. I'm your host, the Goldsmith. It is the late one here on the 11th of June, 2024. Not a lot going on today in the game of Upland unless you choose to find it. We did have the past week number 2 here of our past drop for Genesis season. We are also moving very quickly towards the collection reveal of Bermuda. We'll get into that. We are kind of on that little bit of, I'm going to call it the hangover of Genesis week. We've seen this before where it feels like we got so much at once that we are not going to see anything for a few days, and I don't expect it. Keep in mind the team does have to travel. We very much expect some travel the next several days with the team, not necessarily being full strength, pushing things out. And ultimately, a lot happened in such a short period of time that I don't think they've got any major announcements to push out for a little bit. So we will touch on the drop today. Obviously, we'll also take a look, like I said, at the We'll also be taking a look at what to have for our dates here moving forward for Bermuda, which is coming later this week. At least the collection reveal is, and then we'll take it from there. We'll take it from there with a couple thoughts as we do move in here later in the month. We did have that understanding again that we did see that note yesterday about the potential for the upcoming airdrop, and the airdrop here again. Moving back into the collect the share and earn. So we'll see how those dates will end up lining up. But for tonight, let's get it out of the way. All views and opinions expressed by myself, they're mine and mine alone. Shouldn't be taken as game strategy advice, shouldn't be taken as financial advice, and they don't represent the game or the team of Upland. Easy enough to say, easy enough to get out of the way. But important to get going here and take a look at a couple things. First and foremost, obviously, let's take a look at the announcement and take a look at some images here. King Cody, you're here. I've missed you so much. I'm so glad you're here. We're back at it, back from Genesis week, back into the regular swing and rhythm of things. Neighborhood does that's wrong page, wrong day. But we're looking at, obviously we did get our drops, our drops for our Sparklet, dropping yesterday for those who had the in-person Genesis Week event. That was exciting to earn that one spark again. And you just had to do a number of activities, a collection of activities. You completed those over the course of the 2 days, and at the end you turn the sheet of paper and then poof, magic, that becomes one spark. Those all dropped yesterday. As I mentioned, there was some people still complaining about it taking longer because those were dropped in batches, but it looks like those all have gone out. If you were at Genesis Week 2024 live in-person event, Genesis Live in Las Vegas, and you did all the things that you thought you had to do, and you handed in the paperwork into General Moore and X1, go ahead and let somebody know that, hey, I think I submitted this. I haven't seen my spark yet. If you have seen your spark, I know you're pretty happy with it, like I am. To have seen that show up, of course. Let's take a look at the drops here, of course. Let me get back to it so we can share the images. We can take a look at these together. Idea on these drops, which is kind of exciting, is we got some thematic interlude here. The thematic interlude is that Bermuda is the city that is for Genesis Week. It is ultimately being revealed this week. So to say that Bermuda is the theme of the week, to say that Bermuda is a successful theme, I think is fair. I think it's fair. I've complained about the themes here in the past where we can have things like I don't know, Blossom season, and I don't know, make it about robots. I don't know. I guess that makes sense. No, it doesn't. It does not, Land. Give me some flowers. Next Blossom season, make it about flowers, and I won't complain. How does that sound? It is what it is. But here we go. As week number 2 drops are live now. Genesis Pass 2024 drop. We already seen this. You see what that looks like. The pass, the Bermuda ride. Look at that Bermuda ride. Oh, isn't it lovely? We also have the property card background. Ooh, one more, and then one more. The Bermuda Bliss. We got 3 property card backgrounds being dropped this week. Obviously, the season's badge you should have if you did buy and redeem the pass. Keynotes here on this pass. Keep in mind that there will be another 4 drops this season. 2 have happened, 1 last week, 1 this week, with a couple understandings. First understanding is if you burn your pass now, you will get the next 4 weeks of drops. if you burnt your pass at the beginning of the season or before the first drop, you got all 6 drops. There's no way of being retroactive, no more to get more. If you do want to get more of these, hey, good to see you, Dope Screw. I'm glad you're here. If you do want to get these cosmetic drops as we do go through the season and you haven't burnt yet, you still have that ability. If you ask me, I'm going to tell you it is a diminished value. You're not going to get as many drops. You should have done it earlier. But if you're coming in the game now, if you haven't participated and you want to, you definitely can. We will have more drops for the rest of the season. Interesting thing on these drops, and I'll get it popped up here in just a second. Interesting thing, I'll get that out of the way too. Interesting thing on these drops, obviously, like I said, is the theme of the Genesis City, the city that was dropped for Genesis Live, Genesis Week, Genesis season is represented here. I would think this would be a good strategy moving forward. It is a way of commemorating what is going on at a given time, and city mints are a part of the game, or they can be a big part for a lot of people. So it's important to celebrate those cities. And it kind of stands out as a point in time as well if we do that. Look at that follower count following. Look at that. Those numbers will keep going up. I hope they keep doing so. And more players using this. More and more players using our followers or following count. Going and mute, look at your feed. And we'll take another look here and seeing what that looks like as well. Because did have some activity today. I bought some things and we did see it pop up. And I did something yesterday that was fun as well, which was be able to use my stream to the people who are choosing to follow me. Again, that's the key thing. It's not going out to everybody. Those who choose to follow you. You can also put messages and posts in there. You can share content if you are somebody who is a broadcaster. You're somebody who has a note and you want to tell people about it. You can use it that way. So we'll review that as well tonight. I did look at that yesterday, but it's worth reviewing. It's worth getting familiar with if you haven't taken a chance to look at what this opportunity of this social media integration inside the game of Upland looks like. We did see this as being something that was a little bit of a teaser. We talked about that it was coming, but the impact is going to be significant here long term. See more and more communication be able to go through this way, seeing people interaction with other accounts or other players through this information. So looking forward to seeing that continue to evolve. But let's take a look at those property cards in a different way. Head bound down to our property cards again. This is where you'll find them. If you have done 3 passes, you should have everything I have because I've done all 3 passes at this point. Here we go. Here's some robot stuff. That's always fun. We're out of the robots because we're not in Blossom season. Here we go. Bermuda Ride. This is Genesis 2024. This is Bermuda Magic, Genesis 2024. And why not? Let's zoom in, take a closer look. Oh, yeah, here we go. A little bit closer. Oh, there we go. All right, so Bermuda Magic 2024. I'll get off that so you can see it. Bermuda Magic 2024 is this week's drop, as is Bermuda Ride. Look at those boats. Wouldn't that be fun if we had boats coming? Oh, my God, there's some more boats. Bermuda Bliss, Genesis 2024. They come back over here. Oh, my God, even more boats. What is this? Why are we having boats? We don't know. We don't have any context of having more boats. But I will go and take a look at some announcements here. Look for some Easter eggs. It always feels like Easter eggs when Upland puts images. Where they put these junk boats when they go way back 3 years in the game of Upland, and people look at those and say, "Oh my God, we're gonna get Shanghai. I don't know. We're gonna get somewhere in Asia. Oh my gosh!" And then we didn't for years. Sometimes an image is just an image. Sometimes the things are getting set up and they don't have them for a while. But it is lovely to see those boats. We had airplanes pop out of the blue on them for something that we didn't know were coming, but they came. And then boats. A suggestion of boats. Wouldn't that be exciting if that's the case? So that is our drop this week. We do have some more drops coming up in the not so distant future. So we will keep our eyes out on those. We'll keep our eyes out on the future drops. Next Tuesday, we'll see the next drop. If you burn between now and next Tuesday, obviously we'll get next week's drop. That's that simple. That's pretty great to see that. Perfect. And let's take a look at 2 more things. Of course, the one big one, like I said, I like to always highlight is when we get into and head into a city like Bermuda, we already had the mint, but there's some other pieces that go along with that. The 2 pieces that are coming up this week is first we have a pass, the Bermuda Pass, and then secondly we do have a we do have a collection review. So let's take a look at those two things because those are coming up and those are going to be important here this week. With those, of course, if you haven't bought the Bermuda Pass, they are for sale in retail shops. We'll see them throughout the legits at Adventures. So the miscellaneous legits. Hey, KO, good to see you, buddy. And like I was just saying earlier, KO, and I will kind of push this out there and say it one more time. I should have and didn't hit you guys up for that comic you guys put out. So, if we can get it this way, let me know what the cost is, and the money will be in your pocket, and the comic will be in my hands. Because that was one thing I really should have asked you for. I really wanted you guys to sign it for me. It was going to be fun. I had fun with you guys in person, but missed that opportunity. Failed to grab one of those out of your hands while I was there. So let's take a look here. Obviously, this year Genesis Live, we did have the special city of Bermuda. It is what it is. Was it a great surprising thing? Since we already had a portion of Bermuda, maybe Bermuda's interesting. There's a couple reasons why it's interesting. We'll take a look at it. For the rest of the city, we did have the release. We know how it went. We know that if you were at Genesis Week 2024, or Genesis Live Event 2024, you kind of got slapped in the face with a dead fish here. In that all the internet goes out right as minting's happening. Everybody else, if you're not at Genesis Week, you're like pow 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 pow. Oh, this is fun. If you're at Genesis Live Event, your internet's not keeping up with you because they told us and suggested that hey, let's make sure we're on the Wi-Fi so we have good minting. And then the Wi-Fi goes down. So, my gosh, that was fun. But we did have a city release again. The city itself functioned pretty well. It was just that those at Genesis Live did not have good internet to work with. Here's the details. The minting already happened. That happened last week. There were 16,500 properties mintable. There's plenty that are still left. We'll go look at the map in a minute, and we'll see that there's plenty that are still there. Interesting thing is, there was a lot of exclusivity when that first neighborhood in Bermuda came, and the mint prices were huge, because people were seeing that a lot of those larger properties are 200,000 UPX properties to begin with, and some of those properties were smaller properties, and people are still paying 200,000 UPX for them because they were very limited in how many were out there, and people wanted to get a piece of Bermuda. They just had to wait. You just had to wait because look at all these properties that are for sale for 20,000 UPX, 25,000 UPX. Available in the secondary again, not the same UPX per UP2 pricing because they're on the secondary market. But we do also see people selling pretty low prices in USD. We see that there's unminted properties. So you just had to wait. You didn't have to be in a position where you were, paying 5x, 6x, 7x for a property in Bermuda because here I can buy them at mint and they're just sitting there waiting for me to scoop them up. The percent of the city that's open currently is 100%. Low fee 10. The average fee or the default fee is 20, and then 50 UPX is the high spend fee. There are airport terminals, yes. There are no train terminals in. Go figure. Trains don't do so well with the water. Then the total collections are 10. Total neighborhoods are 9. And here are the neighborhoods. There's Devonshire, Hamilton, Paget, Pembroke, Sandys, Smiths, Southampton, St. George's, which already, partially opened on the 1st of April, and Warwick. There is going to be a treasure hunt tier of 4 for all and forever and always. 10% of the city overall was FSA properties. There will be no future expansions. 13 total landmarks. So this is nice over the course of the city. This is a pretty landmark dense city. There's St. Peter's Church, Gibbs Hill Lighthouse. There is the Cabinet Building, the Cathedral of the Most Holy Trinity, the Hamilton City Hall, National Museum of Bermuda, Fort Hamilton, Vermont, and that's awfully close to the greatest state in the U.S. Look at this. Vermont could have been Vermont, and I would be plenty happy. Maybe a soft D in that. Vermont House, Sessions House, Fort St. Catherine, Bermuda Aquarium Museum and Zoo, St. David's Lighthouse, Royal Navy Dockyard. And here's some prices. This is average price is 2,908 UPX. We talked about this. Upland's been, rough with those prices in the past. I don't think that was crazy. They got the right minimum price, 1,558 UPX. That was the right minimum price. So good job there, Upland. And maximum price, 1,536,000 UPX. Again, This little bit piece here with the indicative prices, it is nice that Upland's got this right. I do like indicative prices. I do like saying the lowest price available in the city. I do like saying the highest price available in the city. Gives you some idea. Obviously, there may not be very many at the lowest. There may not be very many at the highest, but it gives you some idea. And that average price gives you something to expect. But keep in mind that average price includes the fact that there's some really large properties that are 600,000 or 800,000 UPEX. And it doesn't take into account necessarily the median price. It takes to get into effect the average. So if there's a lot of outliers on the high side or the low side, you may see those outliers affecting that average quite a bit. So 60,908 UPX obviously makes it an expensive city overall, or expensive release overall. But I did see plenty of properties available 20, 30,000 UPX. Some for quite a bit less if you got in there early to go try to mint those. Launch pad properties, there were launch pads, obviously. Collection reveal is this coming Friday the 14th of June at 9 a.m. BT. We will reveal the collections for this opening. All collections are going to be a matter of and will potentially alter the property's price if they're unminted. Ensure that you double check your property markers, marketplace markers. If you have properties that are up on the marketplace and you leave them up and they're at the floor and all of a sudden they hit collection, they're going to get scooped real fast. And you're going to feel stupid or silly or wish that you had more UPEX in your pocket for selling a rare because you sold rare at mint. Or just above mint price. So just keep that in mind. It may be safer to temporarily remove all of your properties in the marketplace before the collections are revealed. That's always a suggestion. You have this winners and losers when we have collection reveal. The winners are those who go and buy the floor when people put have a property on the floor that ends up being rare, and the losers are the people who left their property on the floor that had seen that rare sell for just over mint price. So just be careful. I'd rather everybody leave with a smile on their face so much as possible after this collection reveal. The collection reveal schedule 8:55. All properties get locked that are unminted. 9 o'clock collections and reveal keys or collection reveal keys are revealed to the public on Discord, in-game chat, and they are updated in this post. So those will get revealed. 9:30 unminted properties will be unlocked for minting. So that means there's a half an hour period between 9 o'clock and 9:30. Where people know what the collections are and they're able to go and purchase on secondary those properties that hit collection. Then those properties that did not get minted but hit collection, they are modified in price depending on the collection status, and then they go back in the market. People can go and mint those, and that'll be a race there as well. People are always looking to get those properties for mint. And keep in mind, because you see this, hey, Grizzly, I haven't seen you for a while, buddy. I'm glad to see you. I hope you catch up on some of the Genesis Week content because it was pretty exciting. We had a lot going on in Vegas this year. But getting back to this posting here, we do like to put out there that if you have properties that you buy in a neighborhood and it hits collection, you buy it before collection reveal, it's going to have a lower mint price than if it's neighbor property, if that hit, say, a limited or exclusive collection that wasn't minted, because when it hits the collection reveal unminted, it's going to have its price modified. It's going to be modified by a collection multiplier. It could be 3, it could be 9, it could be 11, depending on what type of collection you hit. And that's going to mean it's going to have a much higher mint price. So keep that in mind. I like a lot of people to be safe when they do these things. So 3 months down the line, when you buy a property in blank neighborhood, you look at its mint price before you go purchase it, as opposed to just looking at, oh, that's the floor in this neighborhood. Well, guess what? It is the low mint value floor property as opposed to the higher mint value properties. Keep that in mind. Dividends matter. They make a big difference here long term. Good to see y'all. Like I said, let's get in here with what I'm really looking at. So what I'm really looking at on this, let's get out of the way. Let's get out of the way here. So these giveaways have been announced here to celebrate Bermuda's full opening, and this has been released as of today. We'll go take a look at it right now. To celebrate Bermuda's full opening during Genesis Live, we will reserve several large properties on the island for those special giveaways for players who mint these corresponding letters of Genesis. We've had these before. They're kind of fun. It is a way of extending and going above and beyond when we talk about those these quick minter, or we're looking at the Pioneer minting badge. When we look at the badges, this is a step beyond the badges, where we're just celebrating people who are minting early on. Again, this is one of those things that you may not get Pioneer minter, you may not get a minting badge, Pioneer mint badge, but if you're 19th, you could get that S, and you could get a property given to you for doing so. G is 7th mint, E is 5th mint, N is the 14th mint. Again, the letter corresponding to its position in the alphabet. E is the 10th mint, 5 times 2, again, second E. S is the 19th mint. I is the 9th mint. And then finally, S is the 38th mint. Again, second S, 19 times 2. That's the way Upland did that. Additionally, the player who mints the highest number of Bermuda properties within the first 3 minutes will be awarded with one of these larger properties. That's very, very, very cool. I like it. Bermuda unique structures. This is important. Owning property in Bermuda is a venture into the extraordinary. Positioned at the edges of the Bermuda Triangle, the island's properties are a testament to uniqueness and creativity. Building the unique Bermuda model, we're introducing 5 new residential designs and 2 factories options for players to choose from. These are new structures that are crafted to enhance the island's distinct character, allowing Bermuda property holders to create fantastical buildings and immerse themselves in a living, evolving fantasy world. That's lovely. Well, aren't those lovely? Look at those. Look at those. When these first came out, I thought we were talking about a joke. I thought we were talking about a joke when we looked at the first Bermuda release, because, the fantastical and whimsy. I thought it was a joke. I think that Upland, again, these are cute. I like them. They look like cakes. They look like we got a little droopy icing sticking off the end here. You've got a little bit of, maybe that's some buttercream over there, and maybe I look over there. Oh, that's royal icing. What is interesting about these is they miss the low-hanging fruit. The low-hanging fruit is in Bermuda. They have these really cool triangle roofs, and they do this step pyramid thing where they go plump, 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 and they do that to slow down the flow of water down the roofs, so that water could be used for collection. Because if you live on a very small or relatively small island, you will find that you have a lot of your water table that is pregnated by salination. So you're going to have a lot of water that is salty because the salt that's all around. You don't have a firm water table to hold fresh water, so you have to collect that fresh water some way, and that's part of the heritage of the island of Bermuda. It's part of the story of the island of Bermuda. Good to see an agency. But good thing to think about. When you think about Bermuda, is at one point, or even now, without the large desalination plants, that was one way of helping collect water off the roofs of buildings. So it definitely does stand out as a really cool thing about Bermuda, and it's pretty whimsical if you think about it, to see those roofs that you don't see anywhere else in the world. So very cool to see that. Mint Masters badges, obviously we know about those. Those did happen here for the Mint Masters. Congratulations to those people. We'll take a look at those in just a minute. And here we go. The sweetener sale happened. I don't care about that. That's far enough in the past. There's not much we can sneak in and be involved in that. But here's something important. Bermuda Pass. Bermuda Pass, they're still saleable on the open market. You can buy them, sell them in the legit shops. We're 1,000 available at $4.99. The sale did happen on June 5th at 9 a.m. PT. Or the registration 9 a.m. PT. I'm sorry. The sale happened on the 6th at 9 a.m. PT. They sold out. I've got one. Friday, the 14th of June. That's this coming Friday. Sometime after the collection reveal, and sometime after the collection reveal, the email will go out. Or the message will go out. Mint deadline is going to be Wednesday, June 19th at 9 a.m. PT. Again, if you have one of these passes, you'll have a property reserved for you. There'll be a list that'll go out and an email potentially. You'll be able to see what that property is. You either mint or you don't. If you mint, you got to use the UPIX that you have in your account to mint that property. That is going to be up to you, and it could be a cost that is a high mint or low mint property. Could be in a good area, a bad area. Could be an area that hit collection or didn't. If it did hit collection, it is priced based on pre-mint pricing, which is good. It makes it easier, lower cost to mint. It's also means that you're not going to get those high dividend property there. even if you want to pay more for it. So keep that in mind. So if you are holding on to a pass, just hold on to it. You'll be getting a property reserved for you. If you're not holding on to a pass and you want one, those are purchasable, saleable at some legit shops. So keep that in mind. That is why we have a secondary market. We have a secondary market that if you miss the first sale, you have additional chance to buy in the secondary. And these are for sale in USD only. So if you are an UPX only player at this point and you're not spending the $4.99, which definitely understand. Not everybody's in the same position when it comes to what type of currency makes sense for you. But if you're sitting on a lot of UPX, guess what? You could use the UPX. You can go and buy this on the secondary. I've seen these sell for 15,000, 20,000 UPX. So you could go and buy one of these pass, which is a collectible in a way, but it's also guaranteeing you when that snapshot happens on Friday, guaranteeing you a property in Bermuda that you could have the opportunity to mint. It's kind of like a lottery ticket. You're buying a lottery ticket that it's a good property. It doesn't guarantee you the property. It just gives you the opportunity that maybe you got a nice one to mint and you can go and do so. That will require that you do travel to Bermuda sometime between the 14th, which is Friday, and the 19th, which is next Wednesday. So keep that in mind. That is something that's, again, tradable, saleable over the next several days, and we will continue to watch out for those. So let's go back and take a look at some of the superlatives, some of the weren't they nice winning here. And I'll have to go see that with KO. I'm sure it's a nice message that I got from him. All right, so we're going to go back here and take a look. Where are these? They are here somewhere. We did see... Wow, I thought they put these out in a nice area where we could get to them. I might have to go and look in one more place. Maybe it was in the game of Upland only. Oh my gosh. Maybe I'm missing out because I know that they had put these out and they were nice and I was all excited and I thought that, oh, this is nice that we can see these. They're not down in event winners. They're not up in announcements. They're not over in the roadmap. Where are they? Well, we'll go back and give me a second. I can go and take a look because I know I had seen them. They may have just been in Layer 1 Upland site here. Let's take a look at that. Let's take a look at this. And we're going to get on in here and try to get this figured out pretty easy, pretty quick. All right. And again, we'll take a look over here in... All right. We'll take a look over in our handy dandy bets. Let's see if there's the Bermuda docs. Well, you know what? I don't know how we didn't see it in Discord. Maybe it didn't get put in Discord, but we did find it. We did find the Bermuda docs. Bermuda docs obviously being shared here in the in-game chat. The in-game chat, obviously, we do see there's some better information put there. So here we go. The Pioneer, congratulations. Avogadro. I'm sorry. Papawan, I do know that name. Kasigmar. I know that name as well. Congratulations. Pioneer, the first 3 properties minted in Bermuda last Friday. Top minter, highest number of properties minted. We have Din 2512. We have Crowley 27, and we have Nier 22. Again, the first 3 hours minted the most number of total properties. Big Fish, the 3 largest properties. A Vasquez, or A Vasquez. Maybe it's A Vasquez. That would make sense. A first initial, Vasquez, common last name. Y Giga 357 and TF Media having the largest properties in Bermuda minted. Cozy, the 3 smallest properties. And this is a fun one because people always want those small properties. They're some of the most inexpensive quite often. They go and try to rush to them. So it's kind of almost a land rush when those are, considered. Hackamon, excuse me, Hackamon, Patro, Sheffield. I'm sorry. I'm trying to figure out where those consonants start and the vowels end, and I don't know. And then Benny Tarch, looks like Bennett Tarch, maybe Bennett Tarch, is going to be rounding up the cozy properties. Those are lucky. Find the small ones, get them and reserve them, and get yourself a cozy badge. These are fun badges to earn over time. I know people really love the, can I collect it? Can I get it? How do I get that badge? And that is one that's kind of unique. They're limited. So we do have that Genesis we talked about. So we do have these properties that correspond to. We have large properties for each of those people who did go and mint. I'm not going to run the names down. We have another 7 names that we have here, but congratulations to everybody. Why not? Freaky Man 51's on that list. Zapatelli, Crypto Venom on the list. SAR 86 Can, Chicago's, Chicago Sparked, and Benda. Bendash. There you go. Bendash won. So congratulations to everybody on the Bermuda Minting Challenge here again. The Genesis one's always fun because it means that you might not be the first. You might not have gotten the biggest. You might not have gotten the most. But 17th to be minted, that's not as much of a race, but it's fun to celebrate it because it is Genesis week. Good to see an agency, like I said, to have you in today. We are going to look at 2 more things that I wanted to have my eyes on. Again, collection reveal that's coming Friday. It's definitely worth looking at. And the other thing I want to keep my eyes out on is this wrap up here. We already went through the wrap up of Genesis week. We already went through the everything else that's going on here. And I don't think I'm going to find that easy enough. But the first thing that I want to do is look at is something I mentioned yesterday already. And that is that we do know that we are headed into potentially a share and build airdrop coming soon. Learn more. Click on that. Share and build airdrop is coming. There's a little join Upland here. Get the share and build launch notifications by joining Upland. Again, this is something that we already had chapter 1. Chapter 1, I made some Sparklet, not very much. Chapter 2, I made 1 Sparklet, was actually called Chapter G for Genesis. That was fun. I love my Spark. I bring it home. I give it a little bath. I give it a hug. I feed it. I'm so happy. It's my new pet. So I'm glad to have that extra Spark. I would love Chapter 3 to be more like Chapter G than it was like Chapter 1 because I like Sparklet. I like to get some more of it. I like to stack it high in my account and be able to use it when I need to use it. Very excited about more and more Sparklet. So keep your eyes out on that. And secondly is we want to start a countdown clock timer for Paris. So if you are buying, selling, trading, if you are trying to maintain your account balance, if you are trying to think about why would I hold on to this UPX on my daily dividends? Paris is part of that. The timing on Paris may not be that far out. People say that we look at it, one city every month and a half. Historically, it has been about that in the past. Sometimes it's quite a bit longer. But we are headed towards the Olympics. Olympics are going to be the end of July into the early part of August. With that in mind, end of July, that's just over a month away or just about a month away. So we could be a month away from a very major expensive city in Paris. It is something that you may want to start thinking about now. I would recommend that if you're doing research in the minting, it may not be the worst idea to start researching now, start thinking about where you want to be, what you want to do, not just for collections, but also from the standpoint of Paris has the opportunity, and it does, and it can be like some of the other cities where there's utility-based properties there. There's opportunities to build something where it's going to be your meta venture, not just to own a property, to share a property, not just to own a property, to hold on to the property, but because you want to host a meta venture there because you expect a certain amount of people to be in the city from time to time. So looking forward to all things that Paris brings, but it's definitely worth starting to think about it and be conscientious about it ahead of time. Recommend doing so now and keeping the eyes out for announcements as we get them. So for tonight, obviously, I'm looking forward. We kind of are ending off the looking back thing. The Genesis Week 2024 was exciting. It was great. We are on the other side of it. We are still doing a couple small things for Bermuda, but we're on the other side of it. And what we're headed towards is we're headed towards the rest of the year. We know that we're going to have some things that were promised as future reveals. We're going to have continued iterations of better versions of products, but we are also going to have some pretty big releases here in the next coming several months. We have the city of Paris with the potential for getting our totems back. Go figure. Oh gosh, I'd love to be able to do something with my totems. We had that sale, so watch out for totems as being a potential to come back into the game and have a reason and have a purpose. Sparklet Drop's not a bad thing to watch out for as well. So thank you so much for being in tonight, Monday through Friday, 7:30 p.m. PT. Again, Monday through Friday in the Cafe, the Kevin Exley Show in the Upland Cafe. We also broadcast on Twitter. We also broadcast on YouTube and on Tuesdays and on Fridays, also in the Upland Plaza. Love to see Upland Plaza get popping. Love to see it busy. Love to see more people in there. But for tonight, thank you so much for being here. As always, because of the heritage, because of the history. If you are in the Upland Cafe, thank you so much for being there. The heart, the soul, the start of where we all started. Feel free to unmute your mics. The floor is yours.